Well, today's episode is going to deal with written discovery requests and answers. We actually printed them out. I don't think I've held paper in many years, but we did to make a point here. So we exchange these at the beginning of a case. We give some to the defense, and they give them to us. Ours typically are like, what's your insurance? And give us your corporate documents. And give us the history of this intersection. And give us, all the specifications on this airplane. Very cut and dried. The ones that we get back are ridiculous often and infuriating at other times. There's some general ones that are fine. Tell us your name. Who are you married to? If you're a deceased person, who is handling your estate? But then we have all the other stuff, and that's what we're going to talk today about, is the gross stuff that our clients have to answer in written discovery. We'll probably have to do another one of these for depositions, because depositions are even worse, the oral stuff. So we have two cases we're going to talk about today. One I'm going to save to the very end, because it still wins the award for the most infuriating, obnoxious request that I've ever seen in an interrogatory. But today we're going to talk about a wrongful death case that was brought against Amazon and its henchmen, other defendants,
henchmen.
The henchmen, for killing a young father who was on his way home on a motorcycle, and 100% of the fault was the Amazon driver. We know this because we got all the videos from the van, and because they've admitted fault, for being in a rush and turning right in front of him and killing him. So the case is about Amazon always being in a rush and endangering members of the public because there's so many vans out on the road. Pretty simple, straightforward case. So these are the kind of questions that we get from Amazon. We got the normal ones. And then here's some, okay.
But those are the Amazon ones.
These are Amazon.
They're not the henchmen.
You're going to do the henchmen.
I'll do the henchmen.
These are less obnoxious. They're just silly. Like, why would you ask a silly question? Okay. Yeah. Number 6. And the court's limited how many interrogatories you can ask. It's like 40. You can ask 40 of these things. And remember, this isn't funny. This young husband was killed. So it's a very unfunny situation. However, as we've said before, you have to have a sense of humor when litigating against these people. This firm is the Wilson Elzer law firm. And here's question number 6. In a wrongful death case, identify all places visited by the decedent. The decedent is a dead person. Outside of the state of Washington in the last 10 years for work travel or vacation, including the time frame for each visit and the persons traveled with, if any. Mo,
I'm alive, and I can't even answer that about myself.
What is A? Okay, so the standard has to be relevant, so it doesn't even have to really truly be. It has to lead to the admission of relevant evidence.
Okay.
That's the legal standard.
All right.
Which is,
low.
It's very low.
That's
bar.
very low.
However, what it could possibly, and remember, who's going to fill this out? It's like the widow has to fill. So the widow's grieving, and now you want the widow to identify all places that they visited out of the state for the last 10 years.
I didn't even think about it that way, that the widow has to fill it out.
Yes.
But how traumatizing that must be to have to go down memory lane for 10 years.
Okay, Mike, is this stupid? This is so stupid, right?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay.
That's a stupid one.
That's just stupid.
Is that like gaslighting? Are they just like trying to...
I don't know.
What, how...
Wait, here's number 7. That was number 6. These guys get paid like $1,000 or $1,500 an hour to come up with these intelligently not intelligent questions. Ready? Again, how did he die? Everybody, how did he die?
Motorcycle accident.
Mike, how did he die?
Car accident.
Okay, are you ready for this next question?
Watch this, Mike.
Identify any hunting or fishing licenses held by decedent during the 10 years prior to his death, including the location of each license and the time frame. Okay.
What does that have anything to do with the case?
Okay. Is it relevant? No. Can it lead to the admission of relevant evidence? Okay. Let's go back here. If he was killed in a hunting or fishing incident, maybe. But is there any other possible way that question is remotely relevant?
There's no way I could see this leading to anything about the case.
Was he driving to go hunting?
No.
Good one, Mike.
He did not have a fishing pole on his bike.
I mean,
No.
this is Amazon, one of the biggest companies in the world, who killed someone, paying their $1,000 or $2,000 an hour lawyers to write these questions. Okay, let's look at the next one. These are benign. These aren't even infuriating. We haven't gone to that level yet. This is just kind of we're easing us into it. Okay, now, number 10. This is a little bit closer, but again, is it? Number 10, identify any motorcycle safety training courses or classes attended by decedent prior to his death, including a brief description of the subject matter covered, the time frame and location. Okay, now, he was riding a motorcycle, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Did the defendants admit that they were at fault?
Yes.
Yes. This case is only really in terms of liability. The question is whether Amazon is what's called vicariously liable for the van driver who was employed by one of its henchmen. The henchmen being these little DSP, these little van companies that have to operate Amazon vans, have the uniforms of their people be Amazon. They cannot carry non-Amazon packages. They have to, they have to wear Amazon caps. They have to use the Amazon apps. They have to follow the delivery route that Amazon gives them, and they have to deliver the packages that Amazon loads. Now, that's another, episode.
That's another episode.
But, okay, the henchmen and Amazon have all stipulated that the driver for Amazon.
The henchman has not.
Okay, the henchman.
The
is not.
driver has
Okay.
for the henchman, and Amazon has, but the henchman says no.
Okay, but the henchman is now out of business.
Henchman is
Okay, but-
supposedly out of
But
business.
Amazon said yes.
Yes,
they're-
Amazon
And
said yes.
Amazon's asking this question.
Yes.
Okay. So they've admitted there's liability, that this guy was not at fault at all. Okay, and he's dead. Now, let me read that question again. All motorcycle safety training courses or classes attended by decedent prior to his death, including a brief description of the subject matter covered, the time frame and location. Again, they're asking the widow to do this. Now, is that relevant?
Meh.
How is that relevant?
I mean, just meh in the sense that what you originally suggested, like if they drafted this before they admitted that they were responsible, meh. But like meh, I'm saying meh. It's
All
a
right.
meh. But I do think that in this case, no. But in that universe of like, if that's an issue, they would say, well, it was his fault.
Okay.
But they never said that. They admitted liability.
Okay, here's one more.
Yeah. What's the other one?
This is, and don't, there's so many of them. I'm just reading you a few of them that are just like, to give you a flavor.
Wait, what's the hobbies one? Why did they ask about people's hobbies?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
It's for, to show loss of enjoyment of life. We're going to say that he lost the enjoyment of his life.
Okay.
Okay, identify any P.O. boxes maintained by decedent or on decedent's behalf during the 10 years prior to his death. What is that all
I don't understand.
I've
that one.
never seen that happen before.
Wait.
Like, is he a
I have
spy?
no idea.
Okay, Mike, you're not a lawyer.
No.
Help me think pretend you're a juror.
I know it's not a sexy question.
I know.
But
help me
why?
think like a juror. Like, why would you care about if somebody had 10 P.O. boxes? Say, for example, 10 P.O. boxes.
He doesn't even have.
He doesn't have any. I'm just saying.
It has nothing to do with it, as far as I can tell. I mean, if this was a case about a package being stolen,
Okay.
then it might have something to do with it. But This is a case about someone being hit by a van. That has nothing to do with PO boxes.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Okay, and then the last one of this set, which is, again, I view these as stupid questions, not infuriating questions. They're stupid, not really relevant, or totally not relevant. So the last one, inartfully drafted, by the way, like I suggest that they draft things a little bit more clearly. They ask if he had any social media accounts. And then they ask for a request for production. So at the end of the interrogatories, you can ask for these documents. So there's the questions, which are interrogatories, and then there's request for productions, which are give us these documents. Here's a request for production. Produce complete copies of decedent's social media accounts. What is that?
I mean, I don't understand.
What is a social media? Does that mean, what is a copy of it? Do you have to, what does that mean?
I mean,
What does that mean?
You can request a copy of all your data from most
Does
social
that
media
mean,
companies.
so they want the posts? They want the...
It's going to be everything.
They want the instant messages?
Probably, yeah.
They want anything that you liked
That would be my guess.
or didn't like?
Yeah.
Anybody that blocked you? Or that you
I don't know if
blocked?
they have that. That's
anybody
separate.
that blocked you.
This is what's called a fishing expedition, and we have a very long objection to it.
Yeah.
Well, you should, because it's not, I mean, you already kind of said that it's not relevant, to it.
Yeah.
No.
It's not like he said, oh, Amazon drives into people all the time or something like that. I mean, that still wouldn't matter.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, that's my point.
He died during...
He died being hit by a van.
Yeah.
And what he does or doesn't do on social media shouldn't have anything to do with
Yeah.
that.
It's crazy.
Again, it's traumatizing because they want the widow to go through this stuff. And,
Okay, well,
But
Do you
I'm
think
sorry,
that
that
they
was-
do that to make the widow want to
I can do that.
quit?
too.
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want the widow to.
I mean, they're trying
They always
to
do.
get them to give up.
These are bully tactics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're also just, you have hourly paid attorneys. Like, we're lean fighting machines because we don't get paid by the hour. We get paid if there's a result. But they get paid win or lose, and they're going to churn it out. They being, I'm not going to just blame Amazon lawyers, although they're included in that group. But yeah. All right. So the henchman.
Darth Vader.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun.
We hate this one.
This one it makes me angry.
This one, Mo wanted to slug somebody.
I wanted to go say, let's go to the gym and get into the ring and let's solve these and meet and confer over them in the ring. I think these are...
Okay, so here's my theory.
Okay, what's your
There are
theory?
regular, business-like defense attorneys, i.e. the Amazon attorneys.
Okay.
And then there are these just punks. Nasty, mean, negative punks
Yeah.
that I've tried many cases against. I've known many of them. There's a whole breed. They're just so negative and nasty. It's more personal, and it's
Yeah.
more attacking. And remember, okay, so before you go into this, remember, the client was killed for doing nothing other than driving down the street by an Amazon driver in a rush to deliver 200 packages a day, or whatever it was, 200, 250.
And he pees in the van in a Gatorade bottle. Remember that?
Yes,
Because he can't go to the bathroom.
Right. He said he had to pee in the van in the Gatorade bottle. He eats when he's driving. It's just like because they're on this super tight timeline.
Go, 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 go.
So
Yeah.
this is, and the guy, he's got 3 young children. And this was his widow, but the children were from a different mother, his first wife. So these are the people answering the discovery are basically the survivors of this very nice person that has been killed. And so there is not harmony between the 2 wives, the ex-wife and the regular wife. And Amazon and the henchmen picked up on that.
Yeah.
They picked up they don't love each other. Okay. Well, they used to get along great, but with the husband dying, it's created a lot of people grieve in their own way. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
he picked up on that, and then issued a set of discovery. And that's why this discovery is so bad, because what he's doing is saying, oh, wow, the widow and the ex-wife aren't getting along. I can work with that. I can cause more dissension. I can lower the value of this case because, they're not a united front, and that means that, there's weakness here. He's like, an animal looking for its prey, and you want to go find the weak point always. Where's the weak one? He's looking for the weak link, and the weak link is these guys aren't getting along. I'm going to go attack them.
Yeah, yeah. This was conscious, like the conscious choice to do this, knowing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And like this first one, when they're asking the widow to provide an inventory of all assets of her husband's estate with a value of $10,000 or more is offensive. It's insane. I mean, to me, I think that this lawyer, I lost respect for the guy, and I just do think he's a punk. I think this is a punk move, and it makes me my instincts are like to go to that level and engage in that kind of litigation and create utter chaos for them on the other side. But you gave me good advice. Like we're gonna maintain the high ground and not do that
For now.
Oh, okay. She hasn't unleashed me yet, Mike.
I will go
She
down
hasn't
on that
let me
level.
go.
I do go down on that level.
Okay.
I like that level.
Okay.
But for now, we're staying on our level. But that's okay. That's one issue. But keep going.
And then they ask how much of the estate has been distributed to the children to date, the kids. Remember, 3 kids are without a dad, and they were financially dependent on this dad. They were living out here, and he's gone. And you're asking questions about what the kids got and what they got and when they got and how much.
Well, they didn't get anything from Amazon or the henchman yet.
No. And then they're asking how much his widow tried to get custody of the kids. That is the most question. Asking whether there were fundraisers, whether people donated money, Mike, to help for a celebration of life, to like. That's like I mean. I want
There's
to.
There's so many bad ones in there.
They drive me nuts and angry.
Would you guys say that this is unethical?
No.
No.
They can do this. We can object. We can answer. The reality is we've already given them almost everything that they already asked for, but in a different form. But he's like dialing down and trying to create dissension. Like he's asked for every single text message or communication between the wife, the widow, and the ex-wife. He's asked for every communication, text message, email, anything between the widow and his mother.
That's my point with it, is he's trying to get between the two people who already have a contentious relationship, asking about what kind of money is left for the children and what kind of custody one or the other wants to have is just going right on that sore nerve and pushing on it.
But that's the whole purpose of this. Like, it's not to collect information. It's to drive wedges and to try to create dissension and try to create more weakness for the plaintiff, because then they can, weird things can happen when people start getting mad at each other. Weird things can happen. And that's what they're trying to do, is to cause real problems.
Exploiting grief is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? And they're doing it and trying to get people's messages, post-grief messages.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine losing someone that is near and dear to you. What do you think you're doing in your phone after that moment for the next few weeks? You're probably not in your right mind. You're probably just Emotions are flowing out of you like crazy. They want this information to know some of the most private and sensitive things that you have shared with people. Now, is it unethical? Sure, I agree with you. It's unethical. It's still immoral. It's immoral.
It is immoral.
It's immoral. They have no morals.
I think most people would that hear this, and this is why a lot of people, they come to us and they're so scared. People think, oh, people are rushing to have a lawsuit. Most of our clients are scared to bring a lawsuit because we sue these big companies or the government. And so they are very scared about what's going to happen to them. And this is an example. What's going to happen to you is they're going to hire private investigators to follow you around. They're going to try to make you show them every single thing that you've ever created in your life, which now there's records of because we live in a tech world. Everything we do is in a tech world. I've had, many people now, they ask for all of your watch printouts of any activity that you've done. They ask for, they just, anything they can, they'll do it. And it's very intimidating and scary for the client. And for people that probably even hear this, you're like, why would I bring a lawsuit? Because they're gonna do that. They're gonna find everything, anything, and where am I gonna get all this stuff? Like, you have to go get it.
Okay, oh wise Karen, I got a question for you.
Oh yeah, but don't forget, I still got the terrible question of the century.
Okay, ask well, is it from the Henchman or is it from Amazon?
It's from the Ride the Ducks case.
Okay, before you go to that, do you think that the Henchmen are working with Amazon in sending those questions?
Or
are they, because the Henchmen sent the questions, not Amazon. And so the question is, are they in the background kind of,
regardless,
hey, you send it?
They're happy. Everybody's happy when anybody's attacking us. Okay. I mean, there's a joint, they don't have a joint defense agreement.
Okay.
So to speak. However, that's what defendants do. They gang up on the plaintiff.
When are you going to let me off my leash to be a bulldog and get to their level, or am I not? Well,
allowed? You've already gotten. Today he just came. The reason he's all dressed up on Casual Friday is because he was in court. Because they expect us to give this stuff, and yet we have had discovery requests outstanding for over a year we're still waiting for. And every other week he's having to have what's called a mandatory discovery conference with them. Yeah. And finally, on our second motion to compel, the judge ordered them to pay our attorney's fees to get all that motion paperwork done.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good victory.
I don't know. I wanted sanctions.
Yeah. Is that what they want, though? Is that why they do it? Just to drag your feet?
Deny, defend, delay. The 3 Ds.
Yay!
Defend, deny, delay. That's it.
Okay, now let's talk about that.
Okay, here's the worst.
Worst one ever.
Okay. Mike, you were here when I did a lot of depositions on the Ride the Duck case, and you heard me go off.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I was up here when you yelled at them.
At the top of my lungs, screaming, crying, and I was so angry, so mad, as mad as I've been. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, so now, backing up, Ride the Ducks, 50 plaintiffs.
Yeah.
55, actually. This goes to every one of them.
Yeah.
So they ranged in age from, I had 70-year-olds and I had 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. So teenagers all the way up.
And what happened to all these people?
Well, 7 of them were killed and the rest of them were injured, all the way from massive orthopedic injury down to just PTSD and, muscle injury, but a huge wide range. And it was a bus from North Seattle College that was for international students who were sightseeing. So kids on the bus. And then they were struck by this duck boat that was carrying all tourists. And that's where most of the range was of age was on the tour. So almost over half of them were the kids on the students. Almost all of them from foreign countries.
Okay.
Because they're international students.
Oh, they were international students.
English is the second language for most of them. I mean, so here you go.
What is it? Let's hear this
Interrogatory number 14 from Ride the Ducks. This is my all-time most offensive interrogatory. If a loss of consortium claim is being made in connection with your lawsuit, were you diagnosed with and or treated for sexually transmitted diseases or sexual dysfunction at any time in the 5-year period before the collision through the present? If yes, specify in detail the disease, the date of onset, the medication or treatment, the treating physician, and the current status of the condition.
Wait, so they want to know if the person had an STD, and then what?
Yes.
Wait, what? What?
Yes. They asked all of the clients to tell them if they had STDs. Not just STDs, the who, what, when, where, and hows.
So they wanted them to identify how they got it?
Well, I read it to you.
I mean, that's crazy.
It doesn't even matter if you didn't know how you got it. The fact that they...
But this, wait a minute. I'm like starting to like rationalize it, and I'm just going to stop because...
Were you diagnosed with or treated for sexually transmitted disease treated for sexually transmitted disease or sexual dysfunction? Also sexual dysfunction. Like, a lot of these people had never even had sex at any time in the 5 years. So the ones that were 17 were like 12 years old, 5 years prior to the collision through the present. If yes, detail the disease, the date of onset, the medication, treatment, treating physician, and current status.
That's unethical. I think that's unethical. I think that's an unethical question.
It's abusive.
I mean, there is no legal purpose for that question. I don't understand that question when you know for sure that there are underage people that are part of the people who are...
Even if they weren't underage, I have never, that I know, seen this question on a regular basis this is a car accident case.
Who's the firm?
Well, the firm has now gone its own way. I don't want to out them, but it was Patterson Buchanan.
Oh, okay. I don't know them.
I'm going to out them.
Yeah. That's horrible.
It was disgusting.
That is disgusting.
What happens if you don't answer the question?
Well, they can take you to court over it. So, but what I typically say, and a lot of people, what they'll do is they say objection, and then they'll give a reason why. I tend to never object because I think as a plaintiff, we want to be the opposite of defendants. Defendants object to everything. Every single question, there's an objection that's like this long.
Relevance, proportional,
and I just
privilege.
don't. I'm going to provide what we can and then say, but I will say like, this is a stupid question.
Did you write stupid question?
Wouldn't have said stupid. I would have said, how dare you?
Did you write how dare you?
I would have said something like, I have a form answer because we objected to this question, but it was, I give a whole, I do the righteous indignation, which I needed to do. And that's the minority of questions. Normally we will answer them, but it's something like that's super abusive, or if it gets into, husband and wife privacy issues.
Yeah.
But in general, we try to answer questions. That's our job.
Do you think that was just another one of them trying to get people to leave the case?
Oh, there was a lot more. They actually went after the social media for these kids. They wanted all the social media. It was, we ended up negotiating with them and narrowing it to only that was related to this crash.
Yeah.
Then I think it's relevant, but your history of social media, it's just crazy. So anyway, that was on my all-timer it was completely irrelevant. And it was only for the purpose of harassment.
Yeah. Okay, so to close this out, what is the lesson, because you're a former defense lawyer, for any new defense lawyer about how you draft interrogatories?
Don't be stupid, and then you should be fine.
That's a great answer. Don't be stupid.
Really. You think maybe they think they're being creative.
Yeah.
You're not. You're just being stupid.
Yeah. That's the lesson. Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid like these lawyers.
Amazon and henchmen.
The henchmen.
Thank you.
Okay.